Hey friend, if you don't have an emergency fund, life feels harder than it has to. A medical bill shows up, the car needs repairs, the air conditioner quits in the middle of a hot summer, the dog needs the veterinarian, and suddenly your stomach drops because you're not just dealing with the expense, you're trying to figure out where the money is going to come from. I've lived that. There was a season in my life when every unexpected expense felt like a crisis. Not because the expense was huge, because I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't have any margin. I didn't have any cushion between me and life. And maybe you felt that too. You hear a strange noise coming from your car and immediately wonder how much it's going to cost. You see an unfamiliar number calling your phone and your stomach tightens. You open an email that starts with, "Your bill is now available." And your stress level goes up before you've even clicked it. That is a hard way to live. And unfortunately, a lot of good women are living exactly that way. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're lazy, not because they're bad with money. They're working, paying bills, taking care of children, helping aging parents, serving at church, supporting friends, trying to enjoy life every once in a while. And somewhere in the middle of all that, building an emergency fund keeps getting pushed to next month, until life happens. And life always happens. The dentist doesn't care that you're trying to catch up. The veterinarian doesn't care that you're on a budget. The transmission doesn't care that you're finally getting ahead. The emergency room doesn't care that payday is still 10 days away. Life is going to happen. The question is, will you be prepared when it does? In this video, I'm going to show you why emergency funds matter, what actually counts as an emergency, how much you should save, and the exact framework I would use to build an emergency fund starting from zero. And keep watching until the end because I'm going to show you a simple framework that can help you build your emergency fund faster than you think. Because an emergency fund doesn't just protect your money, it protects your peace. Let's start with why every woman needs one. An emergency fund is simply money you've set aside specifically for emergencies. And I want to say something that may surprise you. Some of you watching already have enough money sitting in your checking account, savings account, or scattered across different accounts to start an emergency fund today. You just haven't designated those dollars for emergencies. You haven't given that money a specific assignment. If that's you, keep listening. Because later in this video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite places to keep an emergency fund so it stays separate, earns interest, and is available when you need it. Friend, an emergency fund is not about preparing for the worst. It's about creating breathing room. It's about knowing that when life happens, you don't have to panic. It's about having options. It's about having margin. It's about being able to handle life's interruptions without feeling like your entire financial life is falling apart. Without an emergency fund, every problem gets solved with debt. Credit cards, personal loans, borrowing from family, moving money from places it shouldn't come from, and what should have been a temporary inconvenience becomes a long-term financial burden. That's why emergency funds matter. Now let's talk about what actually counts as an emergency. An emergency is usually three things: unexpected, necessary, urgent. If it doesn't meet all three requirements, it's probably not an emergency. Here are 10 examples of real emergencies. Car repairs needed to get to work, unexpected medical bills, emergency room visits, veterinary emergencies, emergency dental procedures, major home repairs, insurance deductibles after a covered loss, job loss, temporary loss of income, emergency travel for a serious family situation. Those are emergencies. That's exactly what emergency funds are designed for. Now let's talk about what is not an emergency. Christmas, birthdays, back-to-school shopping, Black Friday, vacation expenses, concert tickets, a new purse, home decor, a weekend getaway, a sale that's too good to pass up. Friend, if you knew it was coming, it's not an emergency. I'll say it again. If you knew it was coming, it's not an emergency. Christmas is on the calendar every year. Birthdays happen every year. School starts every year. Those are planned expenses, not emergencies. Now let's talk about how much you should save. I recommend starting with a starter emergency fund of $1,500. Why $1,500? Because it creates a meaningful buffer between you and life. It can cover a deductible, a car repair, a medical bill, a veterinary emergency. $1,500 gives many women a little more breathing room. Then once you've reached that first goal, Begin building toward 3 to 6 months of expenses. Here's how to find your magic savings number. Add up your monthly housing expenses, your utilities, your car payment, insurance, food, gas, phone, and any other essential expenses required to operate your household. Now multiply that number by 3, then multiply it by 6. That gives you your emergency fund range. For example, if your monthly expenses are $4,000, your goal range is somewhere between $12,000 and $24,000. Friend, don't let that number scare you. Let it motivate you. Awareness creates determination, determination creates action, and every single dollar saved counts. You can do this. Even if it's slow, even if it's steady, every dollar matters. If you're commission-based like me, I'm a real estate agent, or if your income fluctuates throughout the year, I strongly encourage you to lean towards 6 months of expenses. That extra cushion can provide tremendous peace of mind. Now that we understand why emergency funds matter, what counts as an emergency, and how much we're actually trying to save, let's talk about the plan. The simple framework I would use if I were building an emergency fund from scratch today. Step 1, get the cash. Step 2, save the cash. Step 3, hold the cash. That's it. Simple, practical, repeatable. And when you consistently follow those 3 steps, something beautiful starts to happen. You begin to grow your peace. Step 1, get the cash. Now, before I share some of my favorite tools, none of these companies are sponsoring this video. I'm sharing them because I actually use them and believe they can help you. One of my favorite ways to jumpstart an emergency fund is by selling items I'm no longer using. And one of my favorite places to do that is Poshmark. If you've never used Poshmark before, it's an app where people buy and sell clothing, handbags, shoes, and accessories. One of the reasons I love it is because it's so simple. Take a few pictures, upload them, set your price, and you're done. I've personally sold items on Poshmark and made hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And honestly, it felt like I was getting my money back. I had already worn the item, used the item, enjoyed the item, and now someone else was excited to buy it. That was a joy. Because those dollars became savings. Not clutter, not guilt, savings. Friend, I want you to open your closets this week. Open the hall closet. Open the bedroom closet. Open the guest room closet. Open the bins you've been storing things in for years. You may be surprised how much money is sitting there. Those shoes you haven't worn in 2 years. That handbag sitting on the shelf. Those clothes you're keeping just in case. There may be hundreds of dollars hiding in plain sight. And if you'd like to try Poshmark, I have my link in the description below. Step 2, save the cash. Now that you found some money, let's keep building the momentum. Because some people don't have an income problem. They have a leak problem, unused subscriptions, memberships they forgot about, apps they don't use, streaming services they rarely watch. Those little monthly charges have a way of quietly stealing money month after month after month. This is why I like Rocket Money. It helps you see where your money is going so you can make intentional decisions. And yes, I'll place my Rocket Money link in the description below. Friend, you can't fix what you can't see. Think about it like a bucket with holes in the bottom. You can keep pouring more water into it, but until you patch the leaks, you'll never fill the bucket. Now, I'm not saying cancel every subscription. Some subscriptions bring real value to your life. But unused subscriptions, unmatched subscriptions, subscriptions you forgot you even had, those need to go. Every unnecessary leak you patch creates more room for your emergency fund to grow. Step 3, hold the cash. Now let's give that money a home. Your emergency fund deserves its own account, a separate place where it can sit safely, earn interest, and wait patiently until it's needed. Please don't leave it sitting in your everyday checking account, because when it's mixed in with grocery money, spending money, vacation money, and bill money, sooner or later you're going to convince yourself it's available. Friend, this money has a job. Its job is protecting your peace. This is where I like high-yield savings accounts. Personally, I like options such as SoFi. I'll place my SoFi link in the description below as well. One of the things I love about a high-yield savings account is that your money stays accessible if life happens. But it's separated enough that you're less likely to spend it impulsively. And remember what I said earlier. Some of you already have enough money to start an emergency fund today. You simply haven't designated those dollars for emergencies. A high-yield savings account is a wonderful place to give those dollars a specific assignment. Your emergency fund is not an investment. It's insurance. Its job isn't to make you rich. Its job is to be available when life happens. Now, let's talk about the reward. The reason we do all of this, the reason we get the cash, save the cash, and hold the cash. Because one day, life is going to happen. One day the car will need repairs. One day a medical bill will arrive. One day the dog will need the veterinarian. One day, something unexpected will happen. Not because you're unlucky, not because you've done something wrong, simply because life happens. But this time, you don't panic. You don't reach for a credit card. You don't lose sleep. You don't sit at the kitchen table trying to figure out what bill can wait until next month. You simply transfer the money. You pay the bill, and you keep moving. That's what we're really building. Not just an emergency fund, not just a savings account. Peace. The ability to handle life's interruptions without feeling like your world is falling apart. The ability to answer the phone without fear. The ability to open the mailbox without anxiety. The ability to hear a strange noise coming from the car and think, okay, let's see what's going on. Instead of, oh no, how am I going to pay for this? That's peace. Not because life stopped happening, because you prepared for it. Friend, financial peace is not reserved for wealthy people. It's available to ordinary women making ordinary decisions consistently over time. One item sold, one expense cut, one deposit made, over and over again. And before you know it, you've built something many people never build. Margin, breathing room, peace. So here's my challenge for you. This week, sell one thing, cut one unnecessary expense, open one savings account dedicated to your emergency fund. That's it. Don't worry about being perfect. Just start. Because little by little becomes a lot. Drop peace over panic in the comments if you're committed to building your emergency fund. And tell me this. What was the last unexpected expense that caught you off guard? Was it a car repair? A medical bill? A vet visit? A home repair? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if this video encouraged you, please share it with another woman, a best friend, a sister, a cousin, a coworker, someone who needs a little more peace and a little less financial stress. Let's help more women stop living one emergency away from panic. I'll leave you with this scripture. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. Yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 6:6-8. Friend, the ant doesn't wait until winter arrives before preparing. It prepares before the need shows up. And that's exactly what an emergency fund allows us to do. Not live in fear, but live prepared. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, and I'll see you back in the garden.